Okay, so we are live on Facebook and we are live on Zoom. Welcome everyone to our very, very interesting webinar and very special webinar. The topic of today's webinar, as you already know, is the Study Digital Medicine in Germany. And my name is Georgi, and I will be the one who will be moderating / hosting today's webinar. And I have Eileen, who will be the moderator today, answering your questions. But as you can see, we're not alone, and which is really great. We have special guests today, and you will have an opportunity to ask your questions directly to the representatives of the programs, which is a fantastic opportunity from my point of view, and you wouldn't like to miss that chance. So as I mentioned, I will present the guests a little bit later throughout the presentation. And as I mentioned, the topic of today's presentation is digital medicine. And this is somehow also an answer to a lot of inquiries from our attendees, regular attendees, because during all the webinars, we always have questions. Are there any topics or study programs related to medicine in Germany and taught in English? And here is somehow our answer to you. So I hope you will enjoy it, and I'm sure we'll enjoy this webinar. And now, before me and Eileen will do our presentation, before I invite our speakers to make their presentations, I will first ask Eileen to shortly introduce MyGermanUniversity and herself, and then I will take over just for a few more minutes, and then I will give the floor to our guests. Please, Eileen, go ahead.
Okay, hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for our special guests from the Deggendorf Institute of Technology. Me and Georgi, we were international students in Germany, so we are happy to share also our personal experience with you guys. But like he said, I'm the moderator of today's presentation. I'll be answering your questions in the Q&A section, and I'm here to present you MyGermanUniversity. We are Germany's largest database of English taught study program. So if you go on www.mygermanuniversity.com, you will see our study finder. This is kind of a mini version of our study finder, where you can search and apply various filters according to your wishes and your interests in Germany. We also have more than 70 comprehensive articles. They are all for free. I'm gonna ask Georgi to share these links in the chat. So make sure you take advantage of all our free resources. We also have approximately 150 webinars per year. Today is a subject webinar with special guests, but we also have more general webinars about studying in Germany. What should you do to apply? What's the situation regarding COVID-19 and visa? So you can also sign up for our upcoming webinars, and we are very proud to have a very international team. A lot of us were international students in Germany as well, and we have experience working with the DAAD, which is the German Academic Exchange Service. And some of our colleagues have worked in embassies, so we have a lot of experience also from not only international students, but also people who know the German higher education system. And we offer counseling via webinars in English, but we also have articles and webinars in Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, and Italian. And that's it from me today. As a moderator, I'm gonna ask you that if your question is directed to the Deggendorf Institute of Technology, and it's not a general question about studying in Germany, that you mention them in your question so they can know that they should answer that question. And I will be sending important links in the chat. including the links to all the study programs from the Deggendorf Institute of Technology that will be featured here today. And if you're on Facebook, don't worry, you can comment and I will also answer any questions that we have there. Okay, I'll hand it over to Georgi and to our guest speakers. Have a great webinar, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eileen, for this nice presentation, nice introduction. And just again to reiterate, first of all, I would like to ask our guests to turn off their cameras for a while before for the time I'm presenting. I will be very short, and thank you very much. So as I wanted to reiterate that our attendees can use the Q&A section to ask their questions, and you cannot use chat, but keep an eye on chat because, as Eileen mentioned, she will be sharing with you some important information. And this is very important for you as well, guys, who are joining us. I will again repeat it that when you are asking a question in a Q&A, it will be really great for our moderators. It will be easier for them to answer, and it will be better for you to get the correct answer to your question if you mention exactly the program to which your question is directed at. But if your question is just general about studying in Germany or etc., then of course you don't have to mention that. Now I will share with you my screen and provide you some interesting information before I hand it over to our guests. And you can see our guests here on the slide. So we have Deggendorf Institute of Technology, and we have two professors who will be presenting 3 programs today. So first will be Professor Dr. Thomas Spittler, who will be presenting the Bachelor program in Health Informatics. And then we will have Professor Dr. Georgi Chaltikyan, who will be presenting 2 master programs in digital health and life science informatics. I'm sure that will be really, really helpful for our attendees, and they'll get answers to many of their questions, if not all. Okay, so few things about a little information that will be necessary, useful for you, our attendees. If you are interested, there are 2 databases that you should generally know about. So if you're interested more in German language programs, then Hochschulkompass is your stop in this case. So for example, if you write down in their search of this database, if you write down digital medicine, health informatics, or related subjects, you will be able to find 21 degree programs related to them, and 3 programs will be in English. But if you are more interested in English language, in English taught programs, then MyGermanUniversity, which means our study finder, our database, it will be the best option for you. As Eileen mentioned, we are Germany's largest database of English taught degree programs. Both Bachelor, we have Bachelor programs listed also, and Masters as well, of course. And if you write down their digital medicine or related subject, you will be able here to find 55 degree programs. And to break it down even more, 2 of them will be Bachelor and 53 will be Master programs. And you can see also the ratio of English only programs. So in case of Masters, there will be 47 English only, and in Bachelor, 1 English only. English only means that in this case, you don't need any German skills to study on these programs, which is a great opportunity for international students. Let's move forward. So in this case, to provide some kind of guidance to you, dear friends, we have a special subject pages as well, where you can find all information on one page. I mean, all the general information related to particular subject, which means the rankings, the tuition fees, the application and admission, and language requirements. So this is easier for you to find the program that fits you best. Moreover, what would be the best advice from our side is not to very much be dependent on quantitative metrics only. So for example, if you don't look only on fees, on rankings, etc., when you are searching for a program of your dream, I would say, because they are not always that important. Also, don't search only by cities, which means that it's not only like that the best universities are only in Berlin, let's say, or Munich. There are many towns and cities in Germany which have lots of great universities, great programs of high quality. And for example, Deggendorf Institute of Technology is one of them. So don't be guided only with these criteria. This would be the great the best advice, I think, from our side. And the last parts I would mention, I think that you should know that there are roughly saying 2 types of universities in Germany that you should know about. The first one is university or Universität, and it also encompasses technical universities as well. And you can see it is divided in public universities and private universities, and we have some examples on the slide. You can see them. And if using our study finder, you'll try to search for digital health, digital medicine, health informatics, or related subjects, you will see that 39 programs in this or related subjects are offered by Universität, by this type of university. The second type of university is University of Applied Sciences, and our today's guests are from that one. So you can see also in the list Deggendorf Institute of Technology. And in our study finder, you will try to search for digital medicine or related subjects. You will be able to find 8 programs in this subject, which is really great. And the logical question comes up. So what is the difference between university and University of Applied Sciences? Which is correct question. And I would say shortly, first of all, we used to say that when it comes to Universities of Applied Sciences, they do not offer PhDs, but this is not completely true today, because there are some universities that also offer PhDs. And I would say that the main difference between university and University of Applied Science is that when it comes to the former, to the university, in that case, we have more theory-oriented programs. When it comes to University of Applied Sciences, it is more practice-oriented. So this is something that you should know. And last but not least, again, as an advice, you should not, when searching for these kind of programs like digital health or related, exact wording is not always the right strategy. I mean, digital health can be found also by writing it in different way. For example, you can see on our slide like lasers in dentistry, radiation biology. So there are also different ways to find the program, like in digital health in this case. So be sure for those, our guests, our attendees, international students, potential international students, make sure to take this aspect also into account while searching for the right program. Okay, this is all from my side for now, and now I will move to our first special guest, Professor Dr. Thomas Spittler from Deggendorf Institute of Technology, which you can see on the map is in the southern part of Germany. Professor Dr. Spittler is Vice Dean and Study Coordinator of Health Informatics, and today he will be presenting the bachelor's program in Health Informatics. So now I will stop sharing my screen, and I will invite Professor Spittler to turn on his camera and mic, and floor is yours, please.
So thank you very much for the very helpful and very nice introduction. I will share my screen now. So today I want to tell you something about, on the one hand side, about the faculty, the European Campus Rotterdam, where Professor Chaltikyan and me are professors. It's a part of the Deggendorf Institute of Technology. And I want to tell you about the Health Informatics Bachelor degree. So first of all, let me tell you about the Deggendorf Institute and the European Campus Rotterdam. So as Georgi already mentioned, it is in the south of Germany, southeast, next to the border of Austria and Czech Republic. So we are really in the mid of Europe, but it's I would say 3 to 4 hours trip to the Adria, to Italy, and also a 6 hours trip to the north part of Germany, which is the North Sea, and it's only a 4-hour trip to France. So all the many different countries are not so far away as you think. So we are a University of Applied Sciences. So as Georgi already mentioned, we have a focus on the practical part. We have student population about 8,000 students, and almost 30% of them are international students, which come from more than 100 different nations. Especially on the European campus Rotal-Inn, we have approximately 1,000 students there, and most of them are international students, which comes from, again, 100 different countries. So the most important thing here of the European campus Rotal-Inn is that we have a development of international and intercultural skills. So it's very important for us to combine the students from different nations and different cultures. And we are teaching all courses in English. So you have the great opportunity to have English courses there. And on the other hand, we want that you also learn, or that you also have the possibility to learn German language. And so we offer you also German language courses. Pfarrkirchen, where the European campus is not far away from Deggendorf. It's a smaller, very attractive town with many bikeways, rivers. So the Inn and the Donau is not far away. It's a smaller river which is called Rot. You have a large leisure lake, and nearby you can cross-country skiing routes in the close environment. You have the biggest golf resort in Bad Griesbach, which is not very far away. You have spas and thermal springs, and also big cities like Salzburg and Munich are not really far away. It's a 1-hour trip. Yeah, but first of all, let me talk about the bachelor degree of health informatics. So first of all, I want to give you some really hard facts that you know what you expect. So it's a bachelor degree of sciences, which is a duration of 7 semesters, so it's 3.5 years, and the course language is 100% English. So the first and the second semester can be studied on campus here, and this is the usual way. But we also offer, especially since the corona pandemic, online courses and online material of our teaching. So if you have visa problems and visa delays, then you could also start your study Bachelor Health Informatics. So it's very, a focus from us is that you can individualize your study in some elective courses. So you have elective courses, for example, in telematics, in evidence-based medicine, in artificial intelligence, in data analytics. So you have different parts you can walk on according to your interest. And what is very important here in Germany is that you have a compulsory internship semester. So it's a great opportunity for you to be part in a company here in Germany, but it could also be a company around the world. And you have to work there in a real work environment for half a year. So it's very helpful to have an insight into real working environment. And as I saw in the chat, there was also a question about the consecutive qualifications. Of course, we have here a bachelor degree where you can have then or can go on with master degrees like digital health, as Professor Chaltikyan will present you, or for example, the joint master global public health. And these are just 2 of them which we have here on the campus. So what is the course about, the Bachelor Health program? It's about, on the one hand side, all the IT stuff, all the internet stuff, web design. On the other hand, it's also about coding. So if you're interested more in coding, really application development, sensor device development, so you're on the right side here. So we also have data analytics, very short insight into data analytics, and also artificial intelligence. We use virtual glasses, virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. So this is a big focus in this program. We also have, on the other hand, a focus on some parts of global health. We also have a focus on economics and directions. so that you know how to deal with that in project management, IT project management, that you know how to go on with that, how to do an agile development of, for example, a software application in the domain of health. And finally, all the stuff we have, and also the legal parts, the data security, data protection parts, the GDPR parts, is all in the domain of health. So where can you work then? Later you can, of course, work in the medical technology and medical software manufacturers. You can be a member of the healthcare service branches, the pharmaceutical industries, the hospitals and rehabilitation facilities. We have many of them in the nearer part. You can be a part of the health portals, the health insurance companies, consulting firms, providers of IT services, of health apps. It could be a part of manufacturers of fitness gadgets, associations, authorities, and many, many more. Yeah, and one very important thing is for you, of course, if you are new, the admissions and the admission requirements. So at first, you need a general university entrance qualification. Then you need an English language skill specified of B2, and we also have an online assessment test, written assessment test, which is about 90 minutes. So we ask you about general, really basic mathematics, statistics, IT and health and economics questions, but really basic level, just to see that when you start, because we want that you will become an expert in this domain, so that you start not on extremely different levels, so that we have also very good and very interesting students here at the campus, and that you are here to learn most of the things about the health informatics. So the application process is between 15th of April and 15th of July, not June, sorry for this mistype. It's 15th of July, and the starting date will be the 1st of October. And to bring you more in interest, what you would expect, I will share you a very, very short video. This is in the near of the campus, the region of Rothal Inn. You see there are some hills, small hills, and here you will see what you will expect. So we fly with a drone into our body, we have a virtual environment, and then we come out from the eye and see that everything was just virtual, and we trained, for example, physicians and doctors to do something on the patient. So our focus is digital health, is health informatics, and we would be very glad to welcome you. What we offer is an excellent quality of teaching. We offer modern teaching methods. So it is a range from teaching in normal teaching in presence to virtual teaching. We have teaching with VR classes. We have teaching in groups, and we can use teaching also in our state-of-the-art laboratories. So we also have very excellent laboratories where we can do some hands-on on what we learned. And of course, you as a student should be part of our pioneering research parts and the research activities. For example, we are applying for a 5G project in the domain of health. and I would welcome you to be part of this very, very interesting pioneering research project. So it's your time and it's your chance to be a member of the faculty European Campus Rotterdam for the Health Informatics. Thank you very much for your attention.
Professor Spittler, thank you very much for this very interesting presentation with all the details. I would say you did it in around 10-15 minutes, but it was so detailed at the same time. So that was great, despite the fact that I have never been in touch with this area of studies. You even interested me. So I'm sure that our attendees who are definitely interested in that, they will be much, much more interested. And I'm sure just to repeat again, the deadline is 15th of July. So do you have still time, guys? So I'm sure that you will get more applications this time. So thanks again. And we, as you could see, also, we had a lot of questions and your colleagues are also doing a great job in answering them. And I would say that you, by your presentation, already answered a lot of questions. Thank you very much. So now I will share my screen again, just to present our next speaker, again from Deggendorf Institute of Technology, Professor Dr. Georgi Chaltikyan, and he's a program director and of program of Master of Medical Informatics. And today he will present two programs. Both are on master level. One is digital health, and the second program is life science informatics. So this is what I wanted to say. I will stop sharing my screen, and Professor Chaltikyan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear and see me well, and you can also see my first slide. Thank you very much for the introduction. And thank you to our participants who tuned in today, either here on Zoom or on Facebook, and it is my pleasure to introduce this study program. As Georgi said, my name is Georgi Chaltikyan. I'm also Georgi, and I'm a professor and head of the Masters of Digital Health, MDH, an international postgraduate study program in digital health. You saw probably that on the previous slide, it said that I'm the coordinator of the Masters of Medical Informatics. Please do not be confused. The cause is, the reason is that up to now, up to this semester, our study program was titled Master of Medical Informatics. But from 2021, from the upcoming winter semester on, we will be titled the Master of Digital Health. Now, what is digital health? First, let me present very briefly, just to set the stage. Digital health, according to the World Health Organization, is the field of knowledge and practice associated with any aspect of adopting digital technologies, essentially, to improve health from inception to operation. And it is a broad umbrella term that covers use of all modern information and communication technologies in medicine and healthcare, which encompasses e-health, something that we have been speaking more often, let's say 5 to 10 years ago, but also the rapidly developing areas such as the usage of advanced computing sciences, for example, in the field of big data, genomics, and artificial intelligence. And so you can see here on this slide that the scope of digital health is rather broad. It includes electronic health records and health information systems, telehealth, telemedicine, mobile health, or what we call remote patient monitoring, as well as digital imaging, virtual, augmented, and mixed reality or robotics, enhanced interventions in medicine, sensors, wearables, and the so-called ambient assisted living, as well as data analytics and artificial intelligence, and the upcoming future of medicine, genomics, and the so-called personalized or precision medicine. Now, why is it so interesting, and why is it so relevant, especially nowadays, to study digital health? I hope many of you have answered to this question, because of course we know that healthcare is one of the most critical functions of human society. And on the other hand, there are very significant challenges that healthcare systems are facing all around the world. And what are those challenges? The challenges are because of the aging population, many elderly people who live with one or several chronic diseases, but also with public health emergencies, such as everybody knows about the COVID-19 pandemic. That has proved to be the worst emergency, the worst public health crisis in the world in the past century. And there is also the situation with the healthcare costs that continue to grow. You can see the figure here. Now there is more than $8.5 trillion spent on healthcare in the whole world, and that figure is growing fast. There is also a shortage of healthcare workforce, and of course, we all, the citizens, we expect ever better and ever more efficient and optimal healthcare. And now all that, given all that, it is no surprise that digital transformation of healthcare, because we think that the digital solutions can provide answers to, at least some answers to many or all of those challenges. And so digital transformation of healthcare has indeed become a hotspot of policy, practice, research, and innovation worldwide, which is expected to result in tens of thousands of new jobs. Just to illustrate it, here in Germany, I would like to tell you that Germany right now is also becoming the important leader in digital transformation of healthcare. You can see on this slide that in the past 36 months, there were 28 legislative acts, laws, or statutes passed with some relation to digital health, including 6 laws listed here that have digital health in focus. Among them are such important laws as the so-called Krankenhaus Zukunftsgesetz, the future hospital law that will provide 4.3 billion euros in investment in order to digitalize the healthcare system in Germany. So this creates obviously huge employment opportunities. Another spectacular law that quickly brought Germany to the forefront of legislative, at least, innovation in digital health is the so-called DVG, Digitale Versorgungsgesetz, or Digital Care Act, that for the first time ever will provide an opportunity for digital health applications for manufacturers or companies producing digital health applications to showcase them and to have them included and prescribed by doctors and covered by healthcare insurers. So many spectacular developments in digital health, including right now in Germany. And of course, as everybody probably knows, it was the very unfortunate catastrophe that we are all going through, the COVID-19 pandemic, that on the other hand, significantly boosted the developments in digital health. As you can see, in Germany only, there were 168 clinics or practices in 2019 that used, for example, web-based telemedicine, the so-called virtual visits, when doctors and patients can speak over a web link. Currently, that figure grew 1,370%, ladies and gentlemen, to more than 31,000 practices that use telemedicine in 2020, and that continues to grow. Mobile health is a vast area of development and research. Of course, we know that the amount of smartphones in the world is growing. Everything we do now, we do mostly through our mobile devices. There are more than 350,000 already applications out there in the world related to health and fitness, and more than 200 of them being added each day. And another very hot area is the so-called connected health, with relation to the area of the Internet of Things, which is also exploding, as you can see from this graph. They are predicted to be 75 billion of connected devices in the world by the year 2025. Much of that is concentrated on health, with wearables, with smart watches, with smart garments, with ingestible and even injectable sensors or nanosensors. And all that will result in accumulation of huge amount of health-related data that need to be processed, need to be analyzed. So once again, the demand for health data analytics, for example, or health data scientists will be growing. So it will be also supported by the artificial intelligence algorithms in order to automate the healthcare processes. And all that indeed is shown here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that in the near future, we all know that digital is the future, and the future is coming up really, really fast. But this is just to show you that digital in healthcare, which is the essence of digital health, will probably be, and this is not an exaggeration, the most important area of digitalization of human activities. Now to the master's program in digital health. Some of the most important features of our program are listed here on this slide. It's a M.Sc, Master of Science program, with very strong management and research components that prepare graduates for really taking over leadership positions to drive the digital transformation of healthcare, either in Germany or worldwide. We have very strong interdisciplinary focus because it's the merger of healthcare and technology, and also international character. As Professor Spittler has already told you, we have students from nearly 100 nations at our school. So it's a really diverse, international, and very multicultural community. The program features a balanced mix of lectures and seminars that can be provided also, and of course have been provided in hybrid or online mode since the development of the pandemic and the lockdowns, and also case studies, lab trainings, and project-based training, as well as many complementary activities such as participation in conferences and meetings. Right now, as we speak, ladies and gentlemen, this week, there are two major digital health-related congresses and forums taking place in Europe. One of them is DEMIA in Berlin, and another, the so-called HIMSS 21 and European Health Conference. So our students, virtually all of them, are right now immersed in the heart of the digital health community and witnessing the first-hand developments in amazing developments in digital health worldwide, but also in Europe and of course in Germany. So we also provide our students an opportunity to be exposed to the global digital health community through impressive array of guest lectures by prominent experts around the world. So it's not only us, but also the international academics teaching our students, and also through a lot of seminars and workshops by recognized experts from around the world. We have state-of-the-art facilities, and we very much look forward to welcoming our students physically in the next academic year, of course, provided that we finally put the COVID-19 pandemic to its logical end. We also have the DigiHealth Lab that Professor Spittler mentioned earlier, a state-of-the-art lab with very modern devices, equipment, and software, as well as super professional and very friendly staff, some of whom you are essentially communicating today. What are the entry requirements for Masters in Digital Health? It's basically a bachelor degree in either any health science related discipline. I'm answering already some of the questions in the Q&A session. Yes, either if you're a medical doctor, if you're a dentist, if you're a pharmacist, if you're a public health professional, if you're a healthcare administrator, or essentially any biomedical specialist bachelor may apply to digital health. On the other hand, we also welcome computer information and data science graduates of those from bachelor programs in those disciplines. such as software development or business informatics and so on. Obviously, we require an excellent command of English to the level of C1. However, here I have to mention that if you have had your bachelor studies in English, with English as the language of instruction, you may be waived, and you will usually be waived the requirement to present a certificate of knowledge of English. What are some of the subjects or the modules that you are going to study in these masters? Those are foundations of medicine and foundations of computer science. So what we do, why we do it, because this is an interdisciplinary study program, and the students coming from medicine, they take an extensive course in computer science to bring them to the necessary level, and vice versa. Students coming from tech domain take a course in medicine to introduce to them the main processes and approaches in medicine and healthcare. After that, they proceed to the main modules, which are such subjects as international and global health, or health economy and management, many subjects in relation to digital health per se, of course, such as fundamentals, the technology, the applications, the infosystems, and the data protection in digital health, as well as research. There is a significant focus on research and methodology, including the statistics. And of course, very important, the so-called soft skills, which are delivered through the module titled Intercultural and Scientific Communication and Management. Eventually, students do their master's thesis, but before that, we provide an opportunity for our students, and this is an innovation, an innovative project-based teaching, which comes with update towards the MDH curriculum, Master of Digital Health. So the students can select a number of tracks. They can specialize either as managers in digital health, or business or digital health business or product developers, such as a startup, for example, or as data scientists in digital health, or as medical software developers or software engineers. And hence the career prospects that hopefully we already all know and all understand that these prospects are really brilliant. Digital health specialists, this is the general term or the umbrella term of people graduating from digital health study programs. What do? They work in, for example, hospital IT units. This is probably the easiest thing to answer, right? And something that comes up to your mind first. And you already know that there will be many more positions for hospital IT services. Remember, 4.3 billion euros investment, infusion, huge federal money, federal and local money, being now infused in digitalizing health systems in Germany. Assuming that many of you and many of our graduates currently already work in leading position, ladies and gentlemen, in leading positions in various digital health units or institutions throughout Germany. However, if you choose to return to your country of origin or work anywhere else in the world, essentially, this is one of the unique features of our study program, guys. We do not only focus on what is going on in Germany. We give you the big picture. We teach you the situation with digital health from US, United States to India, and from Sweden to South Africa. So you are indeed getting prepared to be a leader of digital health, a leader and driver of digital transformation of healthcare, wherever you find yourself. These are our excellent local teaching staff, some professors at DIT, as well as our lecturers. You already met Professor Spittler and your humble servant, as well as Professor Spittler, Geer Cummings-Cotter, and our colleagues, Mrs. Schluckhammer, Mr. Roth, or Dr. Kallat. However, as I already mentioned, it's not only the local faculty, but also our international guest lecturers, from person like Deepak Kalra, who is the top expert Europe-wide from London, University College London in the United Kingdom, to Professor Jay Sanders, who is commonly known as the father of telemedicine, to Professor Skalnik, also from the United States, to Croatia, to Brazil, to Greece. So you really get exposed to a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. Also, because our unit, the European campus, is an institutional member to such global organizations in digital health as HIMSS, for example, Healthcare Information Management Systems Society, which has more than 80,000 membership, or International Medical Informatics Association, or International Society for Telemedicine and Health, the European Federation for Medical Informatics. All these societies, the European campus and DIT is the institutional member of. What it gives you, ladies and gentlemen, as a prospective student at DIT-A3, it gives you an excellent opportunity to indeed to become in the center of, no exaggeration here, global digital health community. Just a glimpse of our lab. One of our field trips to University Medical Center in Regensburg. We very much, as I said, look forward to lifting of the lockdowns. So as we resume our activities, such as, for example, attending the same DEMIA that I mentioned, this was a couple of years ago. A lot of lectures and a lot of experiences are being provided in e-learning mode, in virtual mode. And you probably noticed it already on my background. It's not only, we do not only attend conferences by others, we have a conference event of our own, ladies and gentlemen, which is titled DigiHealth Day. We launched that very successful series of educational and research events last year. This year it is continuing. So please look it up on internet, find out the site, the website, which is th-deg.de/DigiHealthDay. You will easily find it by just Googling it. It's a free event series, so those of you who are interested, those of you who are planning to join us can already go online to our conference website and register. That is all for Masters of Digital Health, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for following it, and I'm happy to proceed with presenting another master's program, which is the Masters of Health Science Informatics. And later on, I would be happy to answer any questions, should we have any specific questions. I would just like to have a quick message from the hosts. Whether...
Yes, Professor Chaltikyan.
Yes.
You can continue with the presentation, and we have quite a lot of questions because people are really liking your presentation very much, as I do as well. So you could continue with the presentation, and then we will finally collect some questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will now present also the another study program in relation to healthcare information and communication technologies, which is the Masters in Life Science Informatics. I'm presenting it on behalf of my colleague, Professor Melanie Kappelman, who is the coordinator, the program head of Life Science Informatics. Unfortunately, she could not join us today, and I will be presenting on her behalf. So much of information here is very much similar to what I've just told you about Masters in Digital Health. It's also an M.Sc program. It is also a full-time master's. It also lasts for three semesters to a total of 90 European credit points, 90 ECTS, and it is also being taught in English. It also begins in winter semester, which means that the application period is now and running until mid-July. And it is also a study program which is taught, I should say, completely for free, because we should not really consider the €62 organizational fee per semester, because this is not really a tuition fee. Now, what are the admission requirements for M.Sc in Life Science Informatics? Also, essentially, very similar to what we had in digital health. Also, completed studies in either natural sciences or informatics with a bachelor degree. Here, of course, the focus is a little bit more on biological sciences or natural sciences. However, medics as well may apply here as well. The requirement here is also English at an excellent level, very good level, C1. And additionally, these students are also best to demonstrate some basic knowledge of German. As an additional wish, not as a requirement, but a wish, it's good to have also some basic knowledge in molecular medicine, as well as and basic knowledge in programming or informatics. Here you can see on the left side the list of subjects or courses which are covered by this program. It's biomedicine and informatics, informatics, biostatistics, data management, data mining, data visualization, life science, bioinformatics, and eventually also master's thesis. Most of the modules are completed with exam, mostly written exams. There are also 2 term papers or seminar papers as a mode of examination, and of course the final master's thesis. So the focus of this study program is very much in the bioinformatics, which means analysis of mostly genomic data in order to, remember, we spoke about genomics and personalized medicine. So bioinformatics is the subject or subdiscipline within the wider, again, area of digital health and medical and health, biomedical and health informatics that is mostly concerned with identifying the links between various genetics trace and the genetics and various disorders. So very much it is focused on biomedical data analysis through the so-called next generation sequencing. There is a huge amounts of data now gained from sequencing of genome, from decoding of genetic material, and that information, that data must be processed and correlated with also with clinical data in order to make it usable and to incorporate the genetics in order to predict the development of various diseases, predict the responses to various treatments, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, what we essentially refer to as personalized or precision medicine, which is indeed the future. So computer-based analyses identify and analyze genes that are predictive for prognosis or for specific response to particular therapy in a particular disease. So this study program, in essence, focuses on knowledge of medical and scientific basics in combination with application-oriented computer science knowledge. The perspectives, the important features of this master's program are practical lab experience in collaboration with University of Erlangen, its Institute of Biochemistry, which is one of the major schools a little bit up north in North Bavaria, as well as collaboration with Institute of Molecular Pathology in Deggendorf, lecturers from different companies, also possibility of virtual lectures, possibility to obtain ECTS through some related courses, and also to engage in an internship or to do also an internship abroad. This is also a possibility in all our study programs. And a master thesis, just like elsewhere, can also be written in cooperation with course-related companies. The main career directions here for Masters in Life Science Informatics are in bioinformatics companies, those companies which essentially do that next generation sequencing, sequencing of genome, and finding the correlations between genome and diseases and conditions. But also any other biotech companies, biomedical industry, clinical or scientific research institutions, pharmaceutical companies, because most from big pharma and not only, but any pharmaceutical companies, many of them are currently engaged in very active bioinformatics research, as well as, of course, the possibility to work in academia and university, and even a possibility to engage in a PhD level research. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have more questions in relation to Masters of Life Science Informatics, you're seeing here the email address of Miss Juliane Breit, who is the study assistant, the program assistant of Masters in Life Science Informatics, as well as the general email address for general inquiries. On that, I would like to thank you very much for your attention. And I am happy to give floor back to our hosts and organizers with, once again, my thanks for having us in this very interesting and hopefully very informative and useful session. Thank you very much.
Professor Chaltikyan, thank you very much. Thank you so much for being with us and for sharing these great presentations. As I could tell you, the general spirit from the question Q&A and from my side as well, it was really impressive. It was really detailed, very well organized. These great statistics and this introduction with global information and global problems that we're facing today and all the details, that was great. And I also wanted to inform you that when you were presenting on digital health, I also saw in the Q&A that 2 persons have already applied for this program, those who are our guests, so which is really good news. And yeah, there was generally very positive feedback. And yeah, I can also say it was really perfect. Thank you once again.
Thank you, my pleasure.
And one more good thing is that, a great thing is that you answered lots of questions already during the presentation. But there are some that were quite often, and maybe we could elaborate a little bit more on them. So one question that I wanted to ask, it was also directed to Professor Spittler's presentation, but also it's related to you as well. So given the fact of this corona pandemic and the problems, students are asked several times, for example, if there are some admission requirements and because of corona they cannot get this document on time, etc. Is there more flexibility, a little bit more? For example, if the deadline is 15th of July, is there any flexibility to pass this deadline a little bit in this case?
Yeah, unfortunately, with the deadline is quite strict. Usually however, I guess there might be some, it essentially depends on what exactly has to be additionally submitted. Most important is that the main application has been submitted, has been filed before 15th of July. But there is a lot of time before that. And if there is any additional document that might be submitted or needs to be submitted later, in some instances, on individual case-to-case basis, this might be possible. But the most important is that the core application has been submitted before 15th of July. And I think we provide ample time for that. You know, the application period has already been running from 15th of April. However, this might not be so interesting or so relevant to our today's audience. Nonetheless, we still have more than 1 month to complete the application, and I think it's not so difficult to be on time.
Yeah, thank you very much for this detailed answer. One more question that would be interesting also, it was again mentioned by Professor Spittler and you as well. You mentioned also the internship, and in case of Bachelor, it was mentioned the compulsory internship that, for example, you can do the internship in company, etc. So my question would be, being a student at Deggendorf Institute and at your program, does it somehow increase the chances of getting internship at the company that you are partnered with? Do you somehow help the students navigate them to get there, or how it works?
Absolutely, and I hope that our listeners have already got this impression, because as I mentioned, and that is why we specifically mentioned collaboration with different institutions in the field, not only with separate companies, ladies and gentlemen, but being an institutional member in an institution, in an organization such as HIMSS, that unifies digital health, businesses, academics, institutions, healthcare providers, and so on from around the world, which means that you are exposed to as many potential employers, potential internship companies, potential partners as it possibly gets, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm actually very proud to mention that we are the only institution, the only academic institution nationwide that is, for example, the so-called partner innovation exchange partner with, for example, HIMSS. Furthermore, with companies in our masters, for example, we organize in the second semester, we organize a series of events which is titled Invited Case Studies, because we are networking with our list of companies with which we have had any sort of communication or links or with whom we are networking, essentially includes, I don't want to sound speculative, but it's definitely a few hundred names of companies. Up to 10 to 15 companies every year are invited to give our students invited talks, which is an excellent opportunity. We already have through that mechanism. I can mention we have had not a single, not a dozen, even probably a few dozen of graduates who have not only done internship at a particular company, but subsequently got employed at that company. So yes, the opportunities are many. As Professor Spittler mentioned, and you, Georgi, just repeated, yes, in our masters, we do not have mandatory internship because it's a 3-semester, 1.5 year long masters, 90 CTS. That is the more common scenario at universities of applied sciences here in Germany. However, here also, please be advised that we have also double degree and collaboration agreements with other academic institutions, not only in Germany, but also, for example, in Eastern Europe, let's say, in Russia, in Ukraine, in Armenia, and also with institutions in Norway, in Finland, and elsewhere. So it is always possible to engage in, for example, a double degree with 2-year-long masters and to get a mandatory internship through that 2-year-long second degree. I hope I answered.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. It was really informative, and you totally answered this question. And I think that attendees are very, very satisfied with all the information and the presentation and answering the questions. So basically, the later questions mostly were about background requirements, English requirements, but I would not pose them anymore because you really, it was really clear from your side, from Professor Spittler's side, what are the requirements. So here I would stop this questions round because other than you answered all, I would just shortly share the screen again. And I would thank you again very much, Professor Chaltikyan, Professor Spittler, for all those also working on moderation, for answering so many questions. We had quite a lot of questions today, which is really great. And thanks for our attendees who came and watched us. And if you still have any questions, you can also text us on info@mygermanuniversity.com. And Eileen, I would also ask you to share it in the chat. And if you liked our presentations from our great guests, professors from Deggendorf Institute of Technology, you can also give us something back. So we are doing for these potential international students, doing it for free. So if you are happy with that, you could rate us on Facebook or Google. And Eileen, I think she already, yes, great job, Eileen. She already has shared direct links where you can do that. So once again, to everyone, Thank you very much. It was really informative and really interesting, really well structured. And I'm sure, as I said, there were 2 students already who applied, and I'm sure that there are more will follow because of how great these programs really are. So thank you once again to everyone. Have a good evening, good day, depending on where you are right now.
I also wanted to say, Georgi, thanks again for this opportunity to talk. And I hope indeed it was informative, and we look forward to welcoming many students also from today's participants. First and foremost, I wish everybody good health and be healthy, be safe. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Bye.
Very informative. Okay, guys.
Bye-bye.
That's it for today. Would you like to say anything?
No, I think we can already finish.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank
So
you very
thank
much
you,
for everyone
and
again.
see you in our upcoming webinar.
Bye-bye.